Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We are all sometimes guilty of making this mistake, and that is reaching a decision or analyzing a situation in a subjective way. That is putting too much passion, empathy into something and reaching a conclusion, I would say a skewed conclusion of a matter, of an issue, because we influenced logic and reason with our heart, with empathy and love and all that. Now, we are all guilty of doing that from time to time, more or less. There's a problem when you have something of a big on a big scale. When you have, let's say, some policymakers using empathy or preference, and they try to implement, first create certain laws or policies, guidances, however you want to call them, based on empathetic feelings. Because those decisions, one day, sooner or later, will run against other decisions, other policies that the same people made with passion. Passion is good to a certain extent, but the reason should be the one that should prevail in the end. Will run against the other ones that were also made based on empathy and feelings and subjective analysis. We have here the Black Lives Matter group. Are you familiar with Black Lives Matter? That sprang out some problems, and I'm not going to get deeper into that. My point is, Black Lives Matter started with the wrong message. That is, if you would have dared to say, actually, all lives matter, they would not accept that. Only Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter. Okay? Now, if you don't exclude anyone just by saying Black Lives Matter, then everybody else could say, let's say, yellow lives matter, or I don't know, white lives matter, or blue lives matter, or something like that. But no. They want to show that only this one is. Everything else, no. You couldn't say all lives matter. So it tells me that they perceived their issue above everybody else. Now, you got into a certain kind of situation where if you do that, that's an objective representation of reality or a subjective one. A subjective one, because you think these guys, just because you care for them right now more than everybody else, they should be above everybody else. No, they should not. Nobody should be above anybody else in front of the law or regarding this issue. All lives matter. There are some situations when obviously you again put subjectivity into action, and then you're going to say, well, actually, our lives matter more than yours. Why? An example is a war. When we are in a war, let's say this is the Americans and let's say these are the Chinese, obviously the Americans will think that their boys' lives matter more than the enemies and vice versa. So under those circumstances, I understand it. But that's a war. Is there a war between blacks and the rest of the society in the United States of America? If it is, I think they will be losing in about 35 seconds. The problem is the other side, that it seems like there's another side. The other side is unaware. Or if it's aware, they're always put into defensive somehow, creating a guilt that I personally have none. All right. So nevertheless, what Black Lives Matter group did runs against something that the liberals, in this case, will have a problem with. Let me show you. They say that Fury, as Black Lives Matter group posts image of paratrooper and says it stands with Palestine, the Telegraph. So Black Lives Matter, who is a darling of the left, now gets in trouble for supporting something on the left because Fury. Now this kind of Fury, again, the Telegraph is telling us, like they're going to tell us, yes, there were out of 7 billion people on this planet, let's say 6.5 billion are outraged and it's Fury. No, they will never tell you that. Even if in a society, in a group of people, from let's say 100, you have one that's outraged, and that runs into the subjective narrative of the media and their handlers, they will say fury as some are angry with that, are outrageous. They're not going to tell you 1 out of 100. They will focus on that 1 or 2, which is a minority. They will not fury. Oh yeah, some of them are furious. Why do you make this one? Obviously, to attack Black Lives Matter. Their darling, their baby. So now what? Because some of them are obviously now is about Israel. So you know how the narrative goes. All for Israel right now, right? And damn with those guys. Now, I'm not talking about Hamas. I'm talking about Palestinian people. Hamas is not Palestinian people. And Palestinian people is not Hamas. All right? Hamas is a group from the Palestinian people. Like you have, a group of extremists in any society. Let's say U.S. society has some groups. You're not going to lump them. Americans are like that. Well, they try to do this right now in Gaza. So let's read the article and see how these guys are going to take a shit on their baby. And this is the post right here. Black Lives Matter chapter from Chicago says it, and I'm quoting, stands with Palestine, and posted an online graphic of a paratrooper in the aftermath of the Hamas attack on Israel. That was right? No, that was wrong. But as of now, what Hamas did, unless you take that in a war, in a context of war, obviously what they did with civilians over there was not okay in a war anyway. But if you take it in context of war, and this guy struck back, but if you don't take it back, why? Because if you tell me that the Israelis did not do anything to Palestinians or Hamas, and what's going on over there is, these are the angels, the other ones are the, let's not be so subjective or so passionate about it. Passion is good, but passion is good to get us off the couch. But then the action should not be led by passion, should be led by reason. So yes, anger or passion or love, rarely love, it's anger and frustration and discrimination that makes people act more than out of love. Unfortunately, but that's the way I think we are. But that's the impulse. But then you harness that energy, and with brains, if you can, and with reason, you channel it to achieve something, not like you created and you promoted. And remember how much money Black Lives Matter received from all these so-called celebrities, and everybody was, yes, I'm a good person, I stand with Black Lives Matter. I want to hear them now, because if they say now they stay with Black Lives Matter, that means they stay against Israel, so they're fucked. Why? Because they're inconsistent. They are subjective. Inconsistent. Anyway, let's move on here. The organization, which is affiliated to a group of similar Black Lives Matter chapters in the United States, drew criticism for the image of a day of widespread condemnation of Hamas. Again, widespread condemnation. Did you make a poll, opinion poll? No, you have a few guys that you put in the media as condemning or agreeing and saying yes, 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 and you tell me widespread condemnation. Again, just because they portrayed and put those guys over there like 20, because if you add all these guys who are put in front of us by the mass media condemning Hamas, well, I don't care about that. That's their deal over there. I shouldn't even care. I mean, I care as a, how should I put it, as a universal issue. But as an American, why did these guys send over there $3 billion or $2 billion they're talking about sending now, and they sent over there military and they send warships over there? We know why, but anyway, in a subjective way, you understand it. In an objective way, why are we here? Don't tell me we're here because those guys came with parachutes. We're not. We are here because of 1948. That's why we're here. I'm not blaming that. I think that thing was done in the wrong way. It could have been done in a better way. And I see that as the Versailles peace in after the First World War. The same thing. They hit Germany so hard at that moment that they created something else later. The same here. I think the 1948 creation of Israel, the state of Israel, could have been done differently, much differently. It was done ruthlessly. And then that grew and grew and grew. Like the support, that widespread support that you can see if you watch in certain capitals, world capitals and streets, how some support the Palestinians. I'm not talking about Hamas, I'm talking about Palestinians. Widespread condemnation. Yeah, it was a widespread, but it was a widespread support for Palestinians as well, if you bother to go online and check out videos and don't listen to these guys what they tell you. And his terrorist acts in Israel. Yes, there were some terrorist acts over there as well. Black Lives Matter Chicago is one of the BLM 10, a group of anti-racist organizations. Well, some people can claim that you are a racist by saying that the Black Lives Matter and everybody else really comes secondhand. Remember how you would have been portrayed if you would say, no, yeah, Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter in the same way. Oh my God, you are called that. No, I think you thinking that you matter more than everybody else. It's based on Black Lives Matter, not some lives matter. No, they clearly make it based on color. So you are the one doing the distinction from a very beginning. So, and they fight Nazism, right, or whatever it says, fascist. Okay, it says that a group of anti-racism that is not affiliated to the main parent organization, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, but they are Black Lives Matter. What are you talking about? Is one of the Black Lives Matter 10, a group of anti-fascists. So they try to make it, oh no, and this is, I stand with Palestine. On Tuesday, the group posted a black and white image pop up. The image appeared to refer to Hamas paragliders that invaded Israel territory on Saturday using motorized flying vehicles and engines attached to parachutes. But this, yeah, that's not with an engine behind it, because that's not. Anyway, my friends, they can't accept it that in the name of Black Lives Matter, the group that yesterday, those groups, the anti-fascists that they say, those groups were not attacked yesterday. They're attacked only now when they took this position. So they were okay with that until yesterday. Today they took this position, a wrong position, right? And they are, fury. Not Tyson Fury, but fury. So anyway, my friends, consistency comes when you defend universal truth. And when you divide people based on categories and you protect groups based on categories, how can that be a general universal value? I'm going to give you some examples. You see, the United States government claims that it tries to unify the country, unity. But if you look at all, I would say all, these days or months of celebration, they're exclusive. They are not unifying. For instance, and I'm not picking on black people whatsoever, but for instance, February is considered the African American month or something like this. Well, you celebrate one particular group from the society. So that's not a universal value, that's a specific one. And you have only 12. You have only 12 months out of 12 that you can focus on love, understanding, things like really will bring us together. This month is for humanity. This is for love. This is for, wisdom. This is where you can find the general rules that should apply to everybody to get us united under the same umbrella. But if you have February, let's say I'm a Korean. How in the fuck do I get what I'm vibrating with February? Why? Why? It's your thing. You're going to try to blame someone? Me? So there's no celebration for me. I'm excluded 1 month of the year. You're celebrating. So that's one. The other one, let's get the Pride Month. Another thing that excludes the huge majority of the population of a country. It excludes it. The same with the African Americans, 12% of the population. Excludes the majority. The same with the Pride Month. Excludes the majority. And again, it's exclusivist. And if you don't show enthusiasm for them celebrating their little thing, somehow you are the bad person. I thought that democracy is the rule of majority. Where is that at? You celebrate minorities, and that's 2 out of 12. Now, how is that unifying? How are those messages? Am I supposed to identify with either of these groups? What if I don't? That means I don't celebrate, and the most are like me. I don't know, I'm not a part of that minority, and I don't support or celebrate that thing. Because I'm not one of them. Let's say tomorrow you're going to have a month for people with, I don't know, with one leg. Is that unifying? You have 12 months only. You can think of things that would celebrate. Why is not like a family month? Because not everybody is in a family. They immediately would give you the counter argument. Because not everybody has a family, okay, Emil? Yeah, but how about the other things? That's when you don't make policies in an objective way. You make it in a subjective way. But you're going to get into contradictions like Black Lives Matter. Now the liberals that promoted Black Lives Matter, they're on them, on these guys who yesterday were supported, but now they take a different position, which is the same kind of position that they had before. Remember, Black Lives Matter got up because some people supported them, not because of black community, because if the black community supported that, in Chicago especially, would not have, daily shootings in the, 20, 30, 40 a day. We don't have that. So they should solve that first, and then they say, no, that's because of you. No, it's not because of me. You're responsible of your own actions. Start shifting the blame here and dropping the shit on everybody else's head. Do you think that I cannot drop shit on everybody else here? I can. In a second, but would I be fair? I don't think so. I'm responsible of my own behavior and my own thoughts. And once you start, blaming everybody for your failures, that's a child mentality, infantile. So anyway, here it is. Black Lives Matter stands with Palestine, and how much they want now to stay away from it. How is that? Dissociate from them. Black Lives is still under the Black Lives Matter. I mean, what are you talking about? Anyway, my friends, here it is. Again, that group's decision. What's going to happen? We got Fury, Tyson Fury. See what's going to do with Francis Ngannou, and then if he gets to Usyk. Interesting. I watched them. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.